This is Mr. Martin. This is the second video for ratios and proportions. So in the previous video we talked about ratios and how to write them and making sure that we always reduce them. So we're going to look at some applications of how we would use ratios to solve problems. So again, I'm going to do 4 of these problems here, actually 3 of these problems, and you'll do the other 3 as part of your assignment. And as always, if you have questions as you're going through, feel free to pause and ask questions or write down a question to get help later. So let's go ahead and get started with number 5. It says the ratio of 2 complementary angles, so here's a keyword for us, is 3:7. Find the measure of both angles. So if you remember, complementary is 2 angles that add to 90 degrees. So to use this ratio here, the 3:7 means that one of the angles is a multiple of 3 and the other is a multiple of 7. So we don't really know what multiples they are, so what we do is we put an x with each. So I put a 3x, I put an x with the 3, and I put an x with the 7, so now I have a number that's going to be a multiple of 3, because if I take a number and multiply it by 3, it automatically has to be a multiple of 3. And I do the same thing with 7. And since they're complementary, if I add them up, they have to be 90 degrees. Okay? So we use this ratio by adding some x's so that we have some multiples, and we add them up to set it equal to 90. Now, we'll go ahead and solve. So we combine like terms to get 10x is equal to 90. Divide both sides by 10. And we get x is equal to 9. So it said find the measures of both angles. So now that we have that x is 9, I know that 3 times 9 is 27 degrees. And 7 times 9 is 63 degrees. And if you want to check, you could add these up. If I add these up, we're going to get 90 degrees. So that's a check for us. But our answer here is that one of the angles is 27 degrees and the other is 63 degrees. All right, now just to give you a little tip here for number 6, which you're going to do on your own, supplementary, if you recall, supplementary angles add up to 180. So it's going to be a similar method as number 5, except instead of equaling 90, it's going to equal 180. All right, let's go on to number 7. It says the ratio of the measures of the angles in a triangle is 4:7:9. Find the measures of the angles. All right, so we're going to do a similar thing here with our ratio, is we're going to add x's to all of our numbers in the ratio. This is an extended ratio because it's a ratio of 3 numbers. And then since these represent the angles of a triangle, I know that if I add them up, it's going to have to equal 180 because all the angles in the triangle always add up to 180. So now if I combine like terms again, I have 20x is equal to 180. Divide both sides by 20. And again, I get that x is equal to 9. So this is coincidentally. All right, so now I can find the 3 angles here. I have 4 times 9. That's for my 4x. That's going to be 36 degrees. I have 7 times 9. That's 63 degrees. And I have 9 times 9, which is going to be 81 degrees. And again, if I want to check, these should add up to 180. So if I add these up, I in fact get 180 degrees. So I know that my answer checks out. All right, let's do one more. Number 9, it says the ratio of the measures of the sides of a triangle is 2 to 8 to 9. Now be careful because this says the sides. So since it's the sides and not the angles, don't use 180 degrees because this is for sides and the 180 is only for angles. So if the perimeter of the triangle is 76 inches, find the length of each side. All right, so perimeter we know is just adding up all the sides. So we'll use our same technique. I'm going to put an x with each of the numbers in the ratio. So I have 2x, 8x, and 9x, and I'm going to add these up. And since these represent the perimeter, and they tell me that the perimeter is 76 inches, I'm going to set this equal to 76. All right, we'll combine like terms. So I have 19x is equal to 76. Divide both sides by 19, and I get that x is equal to 4. And now that I have that x is 4, I can find each of the lengths of the sides. So I have 2 times 4, which is 8, and 8 times 4, which is 32, and 9 times 4, which is 36. And if I add these up, 16, 76, which is what it should equal over here, 76. So we did it right. And these are the lengths of the sides. All right, so if you have questions, make sure you get those answered. Questions is a natural part of learning. Mistakes is a natural part of learning. So make sure you get any of your questions answered. And finish up the other 3 problems, 6, 8, and 10. And we will see you in the next video.